Well, this site was effectively fenced out as a totally unproductive piece of country. We're right down in the hollow here as part of the old chain of lakes, which was a couple of 100 million years ago an old river system, and it's very prone to salinity. And as I said, this was fenced off as something that was useless. Now we've had two goes of this. We first tried with saltbush seeds and that didn't work, so we reconfigured it, relayed it out, mounded it, or I should say we planted saltland pastures, wheatgrass, tall fescue, a range of clovers, then mounded it, and there's 21,000 Ayers green saltbush in here, and the result has surprised us. It fits into our program with the deferred grazing late autumn and early after the first rain. You can imagine we've just a month ago taken was it 900
wethers, and they had about 3-4 weeks in here.
Yeah, and you can imagine after a rain to allow a pasture paddock to get going and still to be able to provide wonderful feed for sheep. I think the crucial thing here is to try and get an understory of pasture. The saltbush on its own is probably not the complete thing, so we really try and get a perennial grass pasture into the system, and the annuals. Now they won't grow everywhere, but as the site improves, the grasses will move across the site. It's given us enormous confidence to keep going with this sort of work.
Well, as you said, it's turned a paddock that was useless into a very useful paddock. The deferred grazing gives them the what is it, the vitamin E when they need it.
Yeah, it actually fits beautifully into a livestock program, and the other thing people probably don't realise is that saltland pasture with a high water table here, you do get production all year round, so its productive potential is probably greater than much of the fresh landscape. It's not hard to do. There's plenty of information out there as to how to do it. We've made mistakes, we've had our failures, but I'm pleased to say we're getting there.
Tell us a bit about some of the failures. You mentioned you tried growing from seed first, and that didn't work so well. Anything else?
Yes, we have planted patches with just saltbush and no pasture, and it's very difficult then to get the pasture into it. And I think the pasture is such a crucial bit of it. We put it in first, and then even if it's waterlogged and quite down near the salt, this was salty where we are here, the pasture will grow in the mound, and then it'll spread from there as the saltbush dries the site. But I think the main thing with it is to have a go and get some confidence. There's enormous potential for this country.
And it's much nicer to look out at something growing than a bare area. And the birds are moving in, ants are moving in, dung beetles. It's just sanity saving. It really is.
If you were here, say, 4 years ago, you'd be standing in a bare salt scald right where we are now.
And big boots, because it'd be a bit wet.
And I must admit, I didn't think we'd have achieve this in that time. It surprised me very much. And it will get better as the salts leach from the surface, not all of it, but you know, on the fringes of the salt country. It will actually grow a more of an annual pasture.
Maybe tell us a bit more about your plans for the future for this site. You just mentioned going with more annual pasture in here.
Yes, I think well, there's balansa planted in here, and we may spread other clovers, and I suppose you could spread some annual ryegrass if you want to thicken it up, but the site is actually getting better each year, and we're learning how to use it. It's not very complicated. As you can see, we've eaten it. The 900 wethers ate every leaf off this these salt bushes, and then take them straight out, big mobs, and in and out.